There you can find the syllabus. Ah. So next we'll talk about, this is class level variables and class level variables and class level methods. So I said, inside the class you can write, okay, different types of things like object level variables and object level methods. And inside the class you are also writing which one class level. So there is a class level variables and there is a class level methods. So first we'll talk about what is this class level. So first let us talk about class level variables. So till now I said you working with object level variables. Now this is about which variables here? Class level. See, every every object is having his own properties. Every object is having his own properties. For example, so there is a class called which one here? Student. So what are the properties of a student? Now if you see the properties of a student, what student is having? Student is having roll number. Student is having roll number and student is having name. Student is having roll number and student is having name, and student is having what? Course. So whenever I create object of a student, I'm saying student 1 equal to student. So what will happen? It will create a student 1 object. So what is the name of this object here? Student 1. And what student 1 is having? The student 1 is having roll number and student 1 is having name and student 1 is having course. So student is having how many values here? 3 values. That is a roll number, name, and one more is what? Course. Suppose I try to create one more student, saying student 2 equal to what? Student. So what will happen in this case? It will create one more student object. So what is the name of this object? Student 2. And student 2 is having how many values again? 3 values. So that is roll number, second one is name, and third one is what here? Course. So how many objects we created here? 2 objects. And each object is having its own variables. And these variables, you call it as which variables? Object level variables. Are the same thing, you can call it as what? Instance variables. But I want to create a variable which is global, or I want to create one variable or I want to create one property which is common for these 2 objects. I want to create a variable which is common, or I want to create one property. I want to create one variable or I want to create one property which is common for this both objects, like student 1 as well as what? Student 2. I want to create one variable or property which is common for student 1 as well as what? Student 2. Then you declare that property. Then you declare that property as what here? Class level. For example, student 1 and student 2 belongs to the same college. Student 1, student 2 belongs to what here? Same college. Then you are trying to say college name. So what is the name of this variable? College name. So college name, is it declared at which level here? Class level. So within a class, object level variables bind with what here? Self. So the variable which is bind with the self is called as which variable? Object level variable. But the variable which doesn't bind with the self, like inside the class, so this you can call it as which variable? Class level. This is called as class level variable. So this variable is a common. I mean, student one is having roll number, name, course, as well as having which one? College name. And student two is having roll number, name. Student two is having roll number, name, also having what name here? College name. It means if you want to create a property which is common for more than one object, if you want to create one property which is common for more than one object, then you declare that variable at which level? Class level. And that variable is called as which variable? Class level variable. So class level variable. So you can say class level variables are global variables. Class level variables. Class level variables are which variables here? Global variables. These are global variables which are global. Okay, which are global to one or more than one object. In order to declare a property, in order to declare a property, in order to declare a property which is common to more than one object, in order to declare a property which is common to more than one object, okay, that property is declared. That property is declared using which variable? Class level variable. So class level variable memory is allocated. Class level variable memory is allocated. A memory is allocated within class. And class level variable bind with what name? Class name. We can access this variable. We can access bind with class name, and we can access this variable. We can access this variable, okay, without creating which one? Object. Class level variable bind with class name, and we can access this variable, okay, and we can access this variable without creating what here? Object. So if you want to declare a variable which is common to more than one object, if you want to declare a variable which is common to more than one object, then you declare that variable at which level? Class level. You declare that variable at which level? Class level. Okay. For example, see here. For example, see here, there is a class A. A is having X. A is having one variable called what here? X. And here, X is called as which variable? Class level variable. What is X is called as here? Class level variable. What is X here? Class level variable. Class level variable. X is a class level variable. Okay, yes. Then what I'm writing is, I'm writing here one constructor. What I'm writing is, I'm writing one constructor here. So what is X here? Class level variable. What I'm writing here is one constructor. And within this constructor, I'm trying to create one variable. And this variable is which variable? Object level variable. It is called as object level variable or instance variable. This Y is called as object level variable. This y is called as an object level variable or instance variable. But x is called as which variable? Class level variable. Okay, now class level variable, and this is a object level variable. Now I can access the class level variable with what name? Class name. I can access directly x with what name? Class name. But can I access this y with the class name? No, because it is which variable? Object level. I cannot access the y with the class name because is it y is a class level or object level variable? Object level. An object level variable bind with what? Object name. Object level variable bind with what name? Object name. So if I run this, now you can see the value of x is what here? 100. But can I write here print? Can I write here print a dot y? No. I cannot write print a dot y. If I write a dot y, immediately it is given what? Error. What is that error here? Attribute error. A has no attribute called which one? Y. Because y is a class level or object level? Object level. So this variable memory is allocated where? Within the class or within the object? Within the object. So until unless you don't create object, right? I'm creating object obj1 equal to what here? A. I write obj1 equal to A. I'm writing obj2 equal to what again? A. So I created how many objects here? Two objects. So there is the object 1. This is the object 1. And I try to create another object here. So this is one more object. What is this here? Object 2. So what is the name of this object here? Object 1. What is the name of this object here? Object 2. So what will happen on creation of object? Whenever you create the object, your object is created by calling which one here? Constructor. And this constructor having a reference of which object? Object 1. And within object 1, it will create one variable called what? Y. So what is the value of y here? 200. What is the y value of object 1? 200. Then I created one more object. So on creation of object, it will call which one again? Constructor. And this time constructor is referring to which object? Object 2. And within object 2, it will create one variable called which one? Y. And what is the value of y here? 200. So object 1 y value is what? 200. Object 2 y value is what again? 200. Object 1 y value is 200. Object 2 y value is what again? 200. Getting or not? But is it variable x is there in object 1, object 2? No, because x is class level or object level? Class level. But this y x can be used by object 1 as well as which one? Object 2. It means this x is a global. Means I can use this x with object 1. I can use this x with what here? Object 2. It means this variable is shared by how many objects here? Two objects. Means if you want to create one property which is common for all the objects, then you declare that property at which level? Class level. Then you declare that property at which level? Class level. Now I can write print obj1 dot y. What is the y value of obj1? 200. If I'm saying print obj2 dot y, what is the y value of obj2? 200. What is the y value of obj1? 200. What is the y value of obj2? 200. Y value of obj1? 200. Y value of obj2 is also what? 200. Okay, 200. Now, if I'm saying print obj1 dot x, but is it any variable x in object 1? No. Okay, then is it this x belongs to the class or not? Yes. That is used by which one? Object 1. It is belongs to the class but used by which one? Object 1. Okay. If I'm trying to say print obj1 dot y, so y is belongs to which one? Is it X? Sorry, obj 2 dot. Obj 2 dot which one? X. But is it X is belongs to the object or class? It means this X is used by how many variables here? How many objects here? Two objects. But each object is having his own Y or not? Yes. But one value which is common, one value which is common for one property or one variable, which is common for how many objects here? Two objects, that is object one as well as what? Object two. And that common property you are declaring at which level? Class level. Suppose, assume that. So what will happen in application development is, so what will happen? So what will happen in application development is, suppose, assume that I'm just developing application for assume that I'm developing application for a bank where I want to represent whose details here? Customer details. I want to represent whose details? Customer details. Now, every customer, every customer, every customer is having what? Account number. Every customer is having what? Name. Every customer is having account number. Every customer balance. It means whenever I create a account object, okay, now whenever I create account object is created with how many variables? Three variables. Account number, customer name, and one more is a balance. This object is what? Balance. Okay. So I read customer by using what here? Read. Where I'm trying to read account number, integer of input. What you are trying to input here? Account number, right? And self dot, you are trying to input. What you are trying to input here? Customer name. What you are trying to input here? Customer name. Okay, now self dot. Next, what you are trying to input here? Balance. Okay, you are trying to input. So I should convert this, right? Balance is which type? Floated. So it means what will happen when I create a customer? So what will happen when I create a customer here is, okay. So whenever I create an account object, I'm saying account one equal to what here? Account. So whenever you create an object of a class, whenever you create, so this is my data type. What is the name of my data type? Account. So using account, I created one object or not? Yes. What is that object I created? Account one. So what will happen when I create an object of a class? So whenever you create an object of a class is created by calling which one here? Constructor. So it will call the constructor, and this constructor is referring to this object or not? Yes. So inside this object, it will create how many variables here? Three variables. The first one is account number, and second one is what? Customer name, and third one is what here? Balance. First one is account number, second one is customer name, and third one is what here? Balance. So 3 are created or not here? Yes. Suppose I try to create one more object by saying account 2. So account 2 equal to, again I'm saying what here? Account. So what will happen in this case? One more object is created. So one more account object is created. Now this is, what is it? Another customer, which is called as account 2. And this object is created by invoking the constructor or not? Yes. And this constructor hold the reference of which object? Account 2. And this account 2 is created with how many variables again? 3 variables. So that is again account number. And second one is what here? Customer name. And third one is what? Balance. So account 1 is having how many variables? 3 variables. So that is account number, customer name and balance. Account 2 is having how many variables? 3 variables. That is account number, name and balance. But there is one property which is common for this both the customers. Now this both the customers should maintain the minimum balance. So here minimum balance, I said minimum balance is a common. So this property minimum balance is a common for customer 1 as well as what? Customer 2. See the variable minimum balance, the variable minimum balance is a common, right? The variable minimum balance is a common for okay, minimum balance is a common for customer 1 as well as what? Customer 2. Suppose assume that if I declare minimum balance at object level, suppose if I write this minimum balance at object level variable, then whenever you create the account, it will create a minimum balance or not? Yes. For every customer, it will create a minimum balance. For every customer, it will create what? Minimum balance. But actually, minimum balance is a common or not? Yes. It is a common for all the customers. Then I declare this variable at which level? Class level. So that is to avoid wastage of what? Memory. Otherwise, if you create every time, if you create that minimum balance for every customer, that will occupy more space or not? Yes. Because it is a common, right? Why you want to create again and again? Then you create only one time and use it by how many objects? More than one object. Then declare that variable at which level? Class level. So class level. Okay, now I'll try to perform certain operations like which one here? Deposit. Deposit is it. You want to deposit some amount? Now you enter the amount here. How much amount you want to deposit? So here I'm asking directly. I'm not sending it. I'm asking enter amount to deposit. Then you are saying self dot. Self dot, what is it? Balance equal to self dot balance plus what is that? Amount. Then you want to withdraw. Then I just I just write a method withdraw. So you enter the amount equal to float of. So input, enter what you have to enter? Amount. And you are checking if self dot balance minus amount is less than which one? Minimum balance. Then you have to display the message. What is it? Insufficient what? Balance. Otherwise, you should say self dot balance equal to self dot balance minus what is it? Amount. So then I want to print the details of customer. So I try to write a method called yes. But minimum balance is which variable? Class level variable. And class level variable inside a class class level variable is accessed with what name? Class name. But object level variable is accessed with what name? Self. But class level variable is accessed within the class. Within the class using what name? Class name. But object level variable inside the class is bind with what here? Self. So print account is there where you are trying to print the details of the customer. So what you are printing here? Account number. So self dot account number. Then you are trying to print. You are trying to print what is that? Customer name. Customer name, that is self dot. Self dot what is that? Customer name and print. You are trying to print the balance available. So where I'm saying self dot, you're printing the balance available. You're printing the balance available, right? So this is how it is. So there is number of functions, like there is a function or a method called read, and there is a method called which one? Deposit, and there is a method called which one? Withdraw, and there is a method called which one? Print account. So just try to understand here. Okay. So if you want to do any operation, okay, can do the operation here. I want to read the details. Then I said account one dot read. So this will read the details of which one? Customer. Account one dot read. So this will read the details of which one? Customer. This will read the details of which one here? Customer, right? Yeah. Just try to understand this. So read is there. Now using read method. So using read method, what you're doing? You are reading the details of customer. Yeah, this is how you are building your own data type, right? So where I'm trying to read the details of customer, you can say this is account number and this is a customer name and this is what is balance. Okay, now if you want to print these details, after reading, if you want to print these details, you'll try to call the method called which one? Print account. Now this will print the details of the customer. This is the name of the, okay, now this is what is balance. Now if you want to do any operation like deposit, then what do you do it? You'll say account one dot, what is that? Deposit. And after deposit, I want to print the details of which one? Account. Okay. Then I want to do the withdraw. Then I'm saying account one dot withdraw. And after withdrawing it, I want to display the details of what? Account. Then again, I'm saying account one dot print account. So you are trying to perform the operations like which one? Deposit. You are trying to perform the operation called which one? Withdraw. You are trying to perform the operation called which one? Deposit. You are trying to perform the operation called which one? Withdraw. So deposit. So how many methods are there? Deposit, and one more is which one? Withdraw, right? So once you run this, enter the account number 101. So Naresh, and then I enter some 50,000. Now, what is the balance available in Naresh account? 50,000. How much amount you want to deposit? I want to deposit some 10,000. After deposit, what is the balance? 60,000. But I want to withdraw 90, or I want to withdraw some 75,000. Is it available? No. So immediately it is given which one? Insufficient balance. So this is a balance available in the account or not? Yes. Now you have to understand this. But why we declare a variable at class level is, why we declare a variable at class level is to create a variable which is common for all the objects. All the objects. For that, you are using which variable here? Class level variable. Class level variable. Memory is allocated only. Class level variable memory is allocated only one time. Class level variable memory is allocated only one time, and that variable is shared by how many objects? Number of objects. That data is shared by how many objects? Number of objects. So that is done by declaring which variable? Class level variable. Okay. In the same way, just to see it. So that is one example, and one more example is, just now I said there is a class called which one? Student. All students belongs to same college or different college? Same college. Then college name equal to which one? Some NIT. So this college name is a common for all the students or not? Yes. So you try to reserve memory for this college name how many times? Only one time. Okay. Can I make this college name as a private or not? Yes. So can I access this college name outside the student? No. If it is a private, you can access only inside which class? Student class. But can you access this private outside the student class? No. If you don't prefix with double underscore, then it becomes what here? Public. And publics can be accessible within the class as well as what? Outside the class. But now I declare with double underscore. This indicates, is it possible to access? No. So where I can use this college name? Only within the class. Now student is not only belongs to the college. Student is not only belongs to a specific college, and student is also have other. Okay. Student also have other properties like roll number as well as what? Name. Is it this is a constructor with arguments or without arguments? With arguments. So this is a constructor. Okay, so this is a constructor which receive the roll number as well as what? Name. And it will store into the object. Now your object is having roll number and your object is having what here? Name. So student is having how many properties here? Two properties. Students is having one common property, that is a college name. So what will happen when I create a student 1, student 2 like that? So student 1 equal to student. So created which object here? Student object. Student 1 equal to student. Now created student 1. So what is the name of this object here? Student 1. So what will happen when you create object of class? Whenever you create an object, the object is created by calling which one here? Constructor. But this constructor receive how many values? two values, but are you send any values, sir? No. So you have to send how many values here? Two values. You have to send two values. One is roll number and second one is what? Name. So what will happen now? It will create a student one. It will create a student one. So student one object is created by calling which one now? Constructor. And this constructor receive how many values here? Two values. The first value is roll number and second value is what? Name. So here R value is assigned to which one? Roll number, and N value is assigned to which one? Name. So R value is assigned to roll number. Now student 1 is having roll number. What is the roll number? 101. And student 1 is having name, and this name is what? Naresh. So after creating this object, now is it execution of this is completed or not? Yes. Now the object get created. But where is the college name? Is it college name is there in student? No. It is at which level? Class level. But this value can used by student 1 or not? Yes. Now student 1 is having roll number, name as well as what? College name. Okay, in the same way, I am creating another object saying student 2 equal to student, and this is the roll number, and this is the name of the student. So what will happen when I create? Now this is another student, and what is the name of this student here? Student 2. And whenever you create the object, your object is created by invoking the constructor, and within the constructor you created what? Properties. Now this is roll number, and this is what here? Name. And what is the name here? Some Ramesh, right? So this is how the object is created. But the data which is there inside this object is what here? Private. This data is what here? Private. Private. When the data is a private, how can you get this data? With the help of public methods. How you get this data? With the help of public methods. Now there is a method called print student, and this will print the details of students, like what is the details here? Roll number, self dot, what is it? Roll number. Self dot roll number. Then I'm trying to print what here? Name. And this I'm saying self dot. I'm trying to print what here? Name. I want to print the college. College name. So college name. This college name, is it belongs to object? No. So it is belongs to student dot. What is this here? College name. So student dot college name. So I try to print the details like this. Then after that, I'm saying student 1 dot, what is that here? Print student. Then student 2 dot, what I said here? Print student. Student 1 dot, print student, and student 2 dot, print student. So once you run this, you can see student 1 roll number is 101, name is Naresh, and college name is what? N8. Student 2 roll number is 102, name is Ramesh, and what is college name here? N8. But here, this is object level or class level? Class level. But used by how many objects here? Two objects. So in that case, to go for which variables? Class level variables. Now these are some examples related with what? Class level variables. So you write class level variables, and you can also have class level variables are there, and at the same time You also have which methods? Class level methods. Class level rules are there and class level methods are there. Now this is class level methods. So there is a class level variables. There is a class level variables and there is a class level methods. You have a class level variables and you have a class level methods. Okay. So what is this class level methods? And what is the use of this? I'll discuss this. A method defined. First, you write the definition. A method defined inside class with the first argument as what here? CLS. First argument is with what? CLS. If the first argument is what? Self. If the first argument is self, then it is which method? Object level. If the first argument is a self, then it is what? Object level. But in this case, the first argument is what? CLS. Then it is which method? Class level. A method defined inside class with first argument as what? CLS. CLS is called which method? Class level method. But by just writing the first argument as a CLS, the method will not change to what? Class level. To transform method to class level, we need to use, at the rate class level method decorator. At the rate class method decorator, you have to use it. Decorators, we have seen in the functions. Decorators, generators, okay, closers, okay. So transforming one function to what? Another function. To transform method to class level, we need to use at the rate class method decorator. At the rate class level class method decorator. And class level method bind with class name. Class level method bind with what? Class name. It means we can call or invoke class level method. We can call or invoke class level method with what name? Class name. So class level method is used. Class level method is used to perform which operation? Class level operation. Means you don't require to create the object for this. So within a class, you find inside the class, you can find which variables? Object level variables. And you find object level methods. So object level methods are used to operate which data? Object level variables. Object level methods are used to operate which variables? Object level variables. For example, account is there. Account is having account number, name and balance. Account number, name, balance are called which variables? Object level variables. If you want to read the values of this, then you are writing which methods? Object level methods. So you are using the object level methods to operate which variables? Object level variables. In the same way, your classes also have which variables? Class level variables. Then how can I operate these class level variables? Then I write which one here? Class level methods. So I'm using a class level methods to perform operation on which variables? Class level variables. Because for manipulating class level variables, I don't require to create what? Object. I can manipulate this class level variables or class level data directly without creating any object, because now class level variables methods doesn't belongs to object. These are belongs to which one? Class. You don't require to create the object. But if it is object level variables or methods, I need to create what? Object. If it is object level variables and methods, I need to create what? Object. But for class level variables and methods, I don't require to create the object. I don't require to create the object here, right? So how to write this class? We'll see with the example. How can I write? What is the syntax? You are trying to use one decorator. What is a decorator you are using? @ class method. The decorator